Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. Today's video, we are going to be continuing the post-trade deadline rebuilds, and today we have the Indiana Pacers. Indiana currently sits at 32-40. They are the 12 seed here in the Eastern Conference. This is obviously not a contending team. This is not going to be a playoff team, but what we do have is a really good young player in Tyrese Haliburton and some really good, nice young pieces around him. So I am excited for this rebuild today. We're obviously going to hopefully have a pretty high draft pick, put some more pieces around Haliburton, and I'm loving this core. As always, let me know any other video ideas you guys do have down below in the comment section. You guys have been great with ideas lately, and I never want them to stop. Of course, you guys are new around here as well, or just have not yet subscribed to the channel and you're watching this video, do me a favor, hit that sub button. Stick around a while. But yeah, man, we got a Pacers rebuild today. It's a solid young core. Is it the best in the league? I wouldn't say like quite that far. So we got our work cut out for ourselves today. Let's get into it. As we do sit here at 32-40, currently on a 2-game losing streak. Obviously, this season is not going to be a season where we're competitive at all here in the Eastern Conference. So we'll quickly go over the roster. We can talk about it a little bit before we, of course, do get in to simulating the rest of year one. Tyrese Haliburton, best player on this team, 23 years old. Pretty much a 0% chance he goes anywhere. I love Tyrese Haliburton. TJ McConnell, 78 overall, 30 years old. Not a bad backup point guard option. I occasionally do see him regress. That makes me a little nervous. I did not know George Hill was even still on the Pacers. He's probably not going to play. Chris Duarte is here. Was what, 13th overall? 22? Yeah, 13th overall, 2021. He is already 25 because I believe, what, 4-year player at Oregon? I believe. I could be wrong on that. But it's a little iffy for me at that 25 age already, so we'll go from there. But I can't fucking speak. He will start here in year one. Andrew Nembhard, second round pick, I believe, his backup shooting guard option there. Buddy Hield, who I feel like is just randomly 30 years old. And again, I think similar actually. He was a 4-year player at Oklahoma. I'm not 100% on that. I think he was though. He's 30. I like Ben Mathurin a lot. I'm gonna start Benedict Mathurin. I know there's been some conversations about him potentially being in the 6th man of the year conversation. I'm going to start him here in 2K. I'm not going to grow and develop a 30-year-old Buddy Hield as I am with somebody like Ben Mathurin. So he will be my starter. We have, Celtics legend Aaron Nesmith here at the power forward spot, followed by Jalen Smith, Jordan Nora, O'Shea Brissett, and James Johnson. James Johnson, another piece I had no idea was even on this Pacers team whatsoever. We have 4 guys here that could potentially play. I'm going to figure out kind of which ones I want to end up going with. I mean, I feel like there's options everywhere, so we'll figure something out. And then the center spot, I like Miles Turner a lot. We're going to see what ends up happening with him. I don't really plan on moving him. He's an 85 overall. He's a good center in my opinion, so we'll see. And then another Celtics legend, Daniel Tice here, and Isaiah Jackson, who I actually might call up. What's his contract look like? He has years left. I'll let him go down there and maybe develop a little bit more in the G League. I'll let him do that. Let's set the rotation before the rest of year one. All right, so here's how it's going to look for the rest of year one in Indiana. I honestly, my mistake, I thought Chris Duarte was going to start. I had no idea Nembhard actually starts a lot of games for them, so my mistake, to be completely honest with you. I don't watch a ton of Pacers games. Tyrese Haliburton, our starting point guard. Andrew Nembhard will be our shooting guard. Small forward spot, I am starting Ben Mathurin. I'm standing by that take. I want to develop him as much as possible. We have Jalen Smith starting at the 4, and then Miles Turner here at our starting center spot. Buddy Hield will be our 6th man off the bench, followed by TJ McConnell, Chris Duarte, Aaron Nesmith, and Daniel Tice. So it's not a terrible bench. It's not even a terrible starting lineup. I think between development, maybe a couple moves this offseason, we can be back in the playoffs. But obviously year one is kind of a wash. And let's hopefully keep losing and get a higher pick. See you guys at the end of season 1. 35-47 is our record here at the end of year 1 in Indiana. It's not a terrible record. I think it's not a great record, but it's not terrible for, not really doing anything with this team. Giannis is your, I almost said D-point. I'm all over the place. Giannis is your MVP. Paolo Banchero, Rookie of the Year. Tyus Jones, 6th man. Embiid wins Defensive Player of the Year. Alperen Şengün, most improved, and Bulldozer does win Coach of the Year. Did I say Bulldozer? Budenholzer? Whatever the fuck his name is. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. We end up being a 12 seed. So we stand exactly where we were, 35-47. We'll probably be somewhere around, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're probably around 6, 7, right around there in terms of projecting what pick we're going to get in the lottery. Let's take a look at the numbers on the year. Tyrese Haliburton, Ben Mathurin, Miles Turner, all over 17 points a game. That's nice. Buddy Hield was 16.5 as well. Jalen Smith, Aaron Nesmith, Nembhard, Chris Duarte, McConnell, Nora, Jackson, Brissett. Rebounds was led by Turner, and assists was Tyrese Haliburton. So let's simulate the 2022-2023 playoffs. Hopefully we are here next year because I want to make a decent run with this team. Look at the Clippers coming out of the Western Conference and the Cavs. It's starting early with them. Typically it's year 2. You see Darius Garland and the Cavs getting it done here in the Eastern Conference. But no, they start in year one, and it is a Cavaliers championship in the first season with 23-year-old Darius Garland winning Finals MVP. All right, it is time for our first offseason. Obviously, a pretty big draft lottery coming up for us. Hoping we can go ahead, maybe jump up a couple spots. We're projected number 6 right now. Let's see what ends up happening. And we stand right there at 6. You know what? I honestly can't be that mad. Most of the time, I actually drop down a couple spots, so standing where we're projected is fine by me. I don't think Rick Carlisle is a great head coach, to be honest with you, but I'm not going to move on from him right now. I'll give him a year after the moves I make with this team. But 6th overall pick, obviously that's nice to have. We also have 28 from the Celtics, 30 from the Cavs, and then 2 second-round picks as well. So we're definitely going to make some trades. I don't know exactly what they're going to be yet, but let's see what we can kind of do right now. The Houston Rockets own the 4th overall pick. I'm going to try to jump up 2 spots because there is a player in mind I want. No, he's not one of the top 3 players in Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, or Brandon Miller. So I'm going to try to jump up these 2 spots. I don't need any of my other picks in this year's draft, so if you want them, you're more than welcome to take them. How about that? That worked for you? Beautiful. All right, let's sim all the way up to number 4. Hopefully the player I want is still here. Oh, did not. Did I hit yes? Okay. Did not mean to do that. Wow, Brandon Miller actually went 1. Wembanyama went 2. And then Henderson went 3. All right. Well, hopefully I can go ahead and get my guy. It's actually not going to be Eamon Thompson today. It's not going to be Cameron Whitmore. I want Nick Smith Jr. He develops quite nicely in this game. It's been a few videos, I'd say minimum, before, since I've actually went out and drafted him. And I think a starting shooting guard is something we need. It's not a shot against Nembhard or Duarte, but I know how well Nick Smith develops. I don't think either of those 2 other players are ever going to get quite to that level. So I'm very excited to have him here. He's going to be a 77 overall for us. Obviously, we'll be starting right out of the gate. We're going to bring back everybody. Actually, I don't need Kendall Brown, but everybody else. Welcome back to Indiana. I'd like to maybe go out and establish a really good starting power forward. Again, nothing against Jalen Smith, who started there last year for us. I think when there's a clear upgrade and especially a need for an upgrade, I think it's smart to kind of get it out of the way in year 1. So we're going to go ahead and hopefully find somebody that can kind of fit that mold. Could maybe look at a free agent like a Kristaps Porzingis potentially. Let's look at these offers. Spurs and Pistons are giving him somewhat real offers. They're not really that real. So if I want to go out and maybe get Porzingis, I mean, how did he play last year? Let's just check that. He was pretty good. Do I want a Kristaps Porzingis? I don't hate it. I mean, he's the 3rd best free agent here. Let me see what I do. We're going to be sending Daniel Tice over to the Lakers for a 2025 first-round pick. Top 3 protected. It's hopefully going to clear up enough space because I've made the decision to go out and offer Kristaps Porzingis a contract. I think he'd be a pretty big addition to this team. I'm going to give him the deal. Hopefully he accepts it. Looks like he's going to. So, yeah, Kristaps Porzingis, welcome to the team. I'm going to let O'Shea Brissett go. I'm going to let Kendall Brown go. We get our guy here in free agency. Him and Miles Turner probably going to be my front court for the remainder of the video. And I'm feeling pretty good right now. We moved on from Daniel Tice, who was making $9 million, who we really didn't need anymore. I'm fine with Isaiah Jackson being the backup here to Turner. In terms of the backup power forward spot, I kind of have to make a decision because I don't need all 3 of these guys here behind Porzingis, but we'll see. I also did consider trading Buddy Hield as he's making nearly $20 million and will not be in my starting lineup, but I don't mind having this shooting, especially when Mathurin still has a C-plus three-pointer. So also I'm going to have to make a decision here at the shooting guard spot. Who do I really want to keep behind Nick Smith Jr.? I don't need both of them, and I'd rather kind of sell high on one of them right now. So we're not done making trades. We are going to be trading Chris Duarte and a 2nd-round draft pick over to the Chicago Bulls for their unprotected 1st-round pick in 2024, so this year's upcoming draft. I don't know how good or bad this Bulls team is going to be, but an unprotected first for a guy I was going to trade anyways is a really good deal. Now let me explain to you why I'm doing this. Nembhard has an extra year of team control on his contract. He's 3 years younger. He's a better 3-point shooter, according to 2K. Anyways, I'm not getting into that discussion in real life. And, Chris Duarte is a little bit older. So I'm making the trade. We obviously drafted Nick Smith Jr. to be our starter, hopefully the remainder of this video. And Andrew Nembhard's a very serviceable backup for me. So I'm still iffy on Buddy Hield, and I only say that because he's an expiring deal. He's a little bit on the older side. And I don't know how much money he's going to demand this offseason. So I'm still iffy on that, but we definitely still have to figure out this backup power forward position, which appears to just be a little bit of a shit show at this point, as nearly all of them are expiring after this year. We're going to go ahead and make this trade with the Thunder. I was considering keeping Buddy Hield for this final year, but unless I really considered myself a true contender, I didn't really feel like it made sense. So we're going to ship him off to OKC. We're getting an unprotected Wizards pick this year and an unprotected Clippers pick in 2026. I think both of those picks can be really, really valuable. And Buddy Hield at the end of the day was probably not going to be coming back here on the money that he was probably going to ask for. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate you for your time. Unfortunately, we just really decided to move in a different direction. So what I want to do at this power forward spot's interesting. I can consider sliding Nesmith down to the backup small forward spot. Doesn't really change his overall at all. I mean, it's not a horrible idea. And then maybe just move Jordan Nwora, who, again, expiring contract, really don't need him. I think that's probably my plan. I'm not going to sign any veterans in free agency. So let's go ahead and move Jordan Nwora, who I really just, again, don't have a spot for here. And if I can find a first, I'll take it. I saw one from the Bulls, so that's probably going to be the one I end up taking. Houston Rockets, Nets swap. I'll do that. All right, this is the team heading into year 2. Obviously, we've made a lot of changes with this team. We have a new starting shooting guard, new starting power forward, and hopefully this core continues to develop. So you guys can start year 2 with the rotation. As I just mentioned, we made a ton of changes with this team in the offseason, and I'm really kind of liking the way things are shaping together. We had a huge free agent signing in Kristaps Porzingis, a huge draft pick in Nick Smith Jr., and we have our guys developing. It's quite nice to see. It's going to be Tyrese Halliburton, Nick Smith Jr., Benedict Mathurin, Kristaps Porzingis, and Miles Turner. Bench unit. I'm giving Nembhard the 6-man spot. I typically like having guards or wings as my 6-man, so he'll take over there. Followed by Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson, Aaron Nesmith, and TJ McConnell, who is regressing a little bit. I kind of expected it. He has a team option after this year. I'll probably pick it up and we might replace him, but still a good serviceable backup. And he will be our 10th and final man for now. I will see you guys at the end of year 2 here in Indiana. We end year 2 going 45 and 37, so I'm assuming that's good enough for just a playoff spot. Maybe top of the plan, but minimum top of the plan. Hopefully a playoff spot. Jason Tatum is your MVP. I am dreaming of one day of seeing that. I love Jason Tatum. Victor Wembanyama is your Rookie of the Year. I can't believe that Brandon Miller kind of went ahead of him. Just a surprise. Simmons, 6th man of the year. Giannis Depoy, Darius Garland, most improved. It's an interesting thing winning the most improved player award after you won a finals MVP. It's interesting. I know it's a regular season award, but it's just weird to see. And Joe Mazzulla wins Coach of the Year for the 61-win Boston Celtics. Let's take a look at the standings. We end up as, okay, so we're top of the plan. I was hoping we could maybe sneak into this 6 or 5, but top of the plan's fine. We'll obviously take on Detroit. Winner moves on. Loser ends up playing the winner of the 9 versus 10. You know how it works. Here is how the Western Conference shakes out. Houston actually as the top spot over there. Let's take a look at the numbers on the year. Kristaps Porzingis, actually our leading scorer, followed by Nick Smith Jr., our 2 new additions here. This is what you love to see. Tyrese Halliburton, Ben Mathurin, Miles Turner, Nembhard off the bench was really good. Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson, Aaron Nesmith, TJ McConnell. Led in boards by Miles Turner, and assists was Halliburton. So, obviously in the plan, as I mentioned, we got Detroit here. Let's take a look at how their team shapes out. It's Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. That's going to be a future backcourt. It's going to be an incredible duo. Brandon Miller just went number 1 overall. So, I mean, he's got to play up to the hype if they're going to take him over what many people consider a generational talent in Victor Wembanyama. We end up losing this game. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to sim the whole plan. Well, we are in the playoffs. We won. We're taking on the Celtics here in the first round. Brogdon, JB, JT, Al Horford, and Rob Williams. You have Smart off the bench, Derek White off the bench, Grant Williams. Doesn't really look like too much has changed there. I am expecting to be bounced in the first round here. Okay, hang on a minute. We're 2-2 with them. We go down 3-2. And that is officially all she wrote for our 2024 playoff run, which is fine. The Celtics are obviously a much better team at this point in time. Tatum is your Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and Zion wins Western Conference Finals MVP. Let's sim this, and the Celtics do go out and get one. Jason Tatum, Finals MVP. So, yeah, he just won a regular season MVP, an Eastern Conference MVP, and a Finals MVP. Love to see it. Let's hit the draft lottery. I don't know if any of these picks that we traded for are going to turn into anything super high, and that Chicago pick's high, and that Washington pick is high. I'm very happy about the trades we make, so I'm 100% positive those are both unprotected draft picks. We end up with 3. We end up with 5. I can 1,000% live with that. Staff signing, do I want to keep Rick Carlisle? I don't know. Like those offensive and defensive ratings aren't great. I'll give him one more year. Let's head up to the draft. I don't know what I want to do with both these picks because I feel like our starting 5 is established. But having 3 and 5, we also have 18 of our own, obviously, and then 9 and 29 in the second round. Shit. let's decide what we're going to do. There's officially no trade that I can make right now that is going to significantly upgrade this team. To be honest with you, I actually tried to trade for the 2 best centers in the league. I tried both of them. I tried Embiid and I tried Jokic, and they're both untouchable, obviously. So I just had to try, throw out some crazy trade packages. And, yeah, it's not happening. So I'll draft 2 players here. Whether or not these players remain on this team long-term will be TBD. I like Xavier Booker a lot if he's here. I always knew I was going to draft him. And, yeah, who's going to be my other guy? Ron Holland's not a horrible option, and we could use actually an upgrade at our backup small forward spot. So, yeah, let's take Ron Holland. And, yeah, I'm not going to use any of these other picks, so I'll just trade them for some future draft picks. Thank you very much, Milwaukee. And let's send them to the end of the draft. All right. Cool. So we actually did upgrade in terms of backups with Xavier Booker and Ron Holland, I would say. I don't know what I'm going to do with both of these players. I mean, they're both obviously good. Jalen Smith actually declines as well, so maybe that Xavier Booker's his replacement. Halliburton obviously getting a qualifying. Neesmith not for $9 million. There's just no way, especially when we potentially just drafted his replacement. Not going to happen. All right, I'm going to wait on Halliburton. I want to get him a real contract. How much does Jalen Smith want? It's $14 million. I might just let him go, honestly. How much does Neesmith want? He wants 12. Oh my god. This game's so broken. Like, this has been happening for years. As you all just saw, I just pulled his qualifying. It's nope, still there. Oh, 2K. I know I can just renounce it right here. It's just like annoying why that has to happen in the first place. No, don't renounce Tyrese Halliburton. Who designs this platform? Seriously, I want to know, because I want them in jail. Honestly, that's what I really want. He has 2 real offers, one from the Sixers, one from the Bulls. I'm just going to max him out here and then accept it the day after this because I do not want to risk letting him go. And now I'll max out Tyrese Halliburton one more time, and thank you for your service. Jalen Smith. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign. You know, it's not a realistic rebuild. Oh, shit. I actually wanted to leave. That scares me. All right, well, I'm going to match that contract. I'm going to re-sign Jalen Smith, and then I'll include him in a trade because it's an unrealistic rebuild, and we need to find a new upgrade at a backup point guard spot anyways. So let's go do that. We're just going to send Jalen Smith over to the Kings for 2 unprotected draft picks. I tried to pull off another really big trade. I tried to get Anthony Davis. It wasn't happening. And, yeah, Jalen Smith is just going to end up being a sign and trade for 2 first-round picks. So we obviously went ahead and drafted Xavier Booker. He's an incredible talent. I've seen how well he develops in this game, and yeah, he'll be the backup for Porzingis for now. In terms of my backup point guard spot, TJ McConnell is 1, an expiring contract, and 2, I know he's going to regress. I'm going to try to trade him for a different point guard. If I can't find said point guard, I will go ahead and I will trade him for a draft pick, and then I will go ahead and just sign somebody in free agency. Devontae Graham doesn't really move me too much. So, well, actually had a decent year last year in Dallas. You know what? I'll take him. Why not? He's 3 years younger, but isn't he expiring? Kind of puts myself in the same exact position. Whatever. I know he's not going to regress as much. Devontae Graham, welcome to the team. I will see you guys at the start of year 3 here in Indiana. So we didn't change anything in terms of our starting 5 from last year. It's obviously great to still see some of these guys develop. We changed our bench a little bit as we did have the 3rd and 5th overall picks. We added Xavier Booker to the team. He's going to be our 7th man. And then as you can see all the way down here in the 9 spot, we added Mr. Ron Holland, who's going to be getting a few more minutes than Devontae Graham because I do want him to progress. So I know I just jumped ahead, but let's go over the rotation one more time. Tyrese Halliburton, Nick Smith Jr., Benedict Mathurin, Kristaps Porzingis, and Miles Turner. The bench unit, Andrew Nembhard will remain the 6th man, followed by Xavier Booker, Isaiah Jackson, Ron Holland, and Devontae Graham. It's not a bad team. I think we should definitely 100% be an actual playoff team this year and hopefully make a little bit of a run. We'll see you guys at the end of year 3. We end year 3 with a record of 51-31. Obviously, that is good enough for an actual playoff spot, which is great. Hoping to make a decent playoff run. LaMelo Ball is your MVP. Matas Buzelis, Rookie of the Year, ended up going number 4 overall to the Dallas Mavericks, finally getting Luka some help. Lonzo, 6th Man of the Year, is in Orlando. Interesting. We have a Defensive Player of the Year winner here in Miles Turner. That's awesome to see. You love to see it. I believe he's an expiring contract as well. Definitely going to have to re-sign him. Scoot Henderson, Most Improved. Steve Clifford is your Coach of the Year. So let's take a look at the standings, see where we panned out. End up as the 3 seed here in the East. Going to be taking on, let me do math here, the Orlando Magic in the first round. Here's a look over at the Western Conference if you wish to pause. Let's take a look at the numbers on the year. Nick Smith Jr. led us in scoring. This is why I drafted him. I mean, he's just an incredibly, incredibly good talent. Kristaps Porzingis, Ben Mathurin, Halliburton, Xavier Booker off the bench as a rookie. Wow, that's insane. Miles Turner, Nembhard, Ron Holland, Isaiah Jackson, and Devontae Graham. Led us in boards was Miles Turner, and assists was Tyrese Halliburton at nearly 13 a game. You love to see it. You truly do. As I mentioned, Orlando here in round 1. Scoot Henderson. They went ahead and drafted him 3rd overall. They also obviously still have Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr. They have Lonzo coming off the bench with Isaac and Bolt Bol. They're making something over there in Orlando. That's a good team they're putting together. We're actually down 3-1. Well, that's not the way I wanted, our first real playoff run to go. Yeah, that's not great, obviously. Rockets going to win the finals. Jalen Green finals MVP. It is officially going to be the end of the Steve Clifford show here in Indiana. Wow, we have that Brooklyn. Actually, it's a pick swap. I don't know if we're going to get it or not, and we do, and it's at number 2. Holy shit. All right, well, Steve Clifford. He's one. I saw him just win Coach of the Year, and that's why I was thinking his name. Rick Carlisle, excuse me. You're going to block me, aren't you? I know they're going to block me, Yep. Which means Jacob Underwood's probably my guy. I've won with him before, and I can win with him again. Let's head up to the draft now. We do have the 2nd overall selection, which is obviously great. I do not know this draft class at all. I'm not going to pretend that I know this draft class at all, and I'm probably not going to be drafting anybody from this draft class at all. I don't need any more young talent on this team. We just had 2 top 5 picks last year. Let's go ahead and hopefully make a major trade. A trade like this could come back and bite me in the ass, but here, heading into the final year, when we really need to go out and solidify ourselves and winning a championship, I need to go out and get as much talent as possible. Kyrie Irving, going to come in. He'd be my new starting shooting guard. I would move Nick Smith Jr. to the small forward spot. We'd then have Benedict Mathurin come off the bench. I think it's a smart move. I'm probably going to have to overpay for Kyrie right now. It's okay with me. It's the final season. I don't know how we have the cap space for this, but we do. Take the 2nd overall pick. It's fine. I don't care. It's the final year. I don't need it. We're going to go ahead and hopefully adding Kyrie puts us over the top and really solidifies us as a true championship contender, because let me tell you, we have not won a playoff series, and might be an overreaction what I just gave up in order to get Kyrie, but again, I needed to go out and get that talent, and nobody else was available. I tried to trade for 6 other players before Kyrie, so yeah. Team player options, Nick Smith Jr., Ben Mathurin, and Andrew Nembhard all going to be coming back. Qualifying offers, Isaiah Jackson. He's a decent enough backup center. I do want to have to go ahead and re-sign Miles Turner. I cannot just let him go. Considering maybe making an upgrade there, but I don't think it would impact as much as we maybe went ahead and got somebody like Kyrie, especially considering the top 3 listed centers in Embiid, Jokic, and Anthony Davis are all untouchable. You can't do anything about it. So getting back Miles Turner is definitely my priority number 1. I'd also like to be able to retain Isaiah Jackson. As it is the final year, I'll qualify him. Then Devontae Graham, I think I can get an upgrade somewhere. So we are going to go ahead. We're going to re-sign Miles Turner. Everybody else is basically free to go. We're going to get Isaiah Jackson back on his qualifying offer, and we're in a pretty good spot right now. Let's take a look at how this roster is constructed at this very moment. Forgot about Ron Holland. How tall is Ron Holland? He's 6'9". Let me just move to the backup power forward spot. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go 9-man rotation because we have Tyrese Halliburton starting here. Maybe in some units, Kyrie Irving can potentially play the backup point guard spot. I mean, hell, Kyrie was a point guard or listed as a point guard for years. So we're going to move Ron Holland to power forward, and it stays relatively similar overall. This is what we're going into the final year with. I'll see you guys at the rotation. It is officially the start of the 4th and final season for us here in Indiana. We made some pretty major moves this offseason. We added Kyrie Irving to this team. He'll play in the same backcourt here next to Tyrese Halliburton. I'm extremely excited to have him here. Obviously, veteran player, has won a championship before. It's a great guy to bring in. Hopefully to help these guys go out and win. Halliburton, Irving, Nick Smith Jr. slides to the small forward spot, Kristaps Porzingis, and then Miles Turner, who I've surprisingly almost kept throughout this entire thing. I thought there was going to be a couple points that I looked to upgrade, but ended up keeping him. He just wanted depoy. I'm excited to have him. Ben Mathurin slides to the bench, followed by Ron Holland, Isaiah Jackson, and Andrew Nembhard. He's got to go out and do it, man. The talent's here. I'll see you guys at the end of year 4. I believe I saw at the last second that our record here at the end of the 4th year was 60-22. I'm not 100% positive about that. I'm not really paying attention while the year simulates. LaMelo Ball, MVP. Ronnie James, Rookie of the Year. Poku wins 6-man. Chet Holmgren, Depoy. Isaiah Collier, Most Improved. Jacob Underwood does win Coach of the Year as we do go 16-22. Okay, heading into the playoffs, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, that we haven't even won a playoff series so far, which makes me a little nervous, but obviously added Kyrie Irving, hopefully going out and winning a championship. That's all that's really left to do here. Led in boards by Miles Turner, and assist was Tyrese Halliburton. All right, who do we have here in round 1? It's going to be the 8-seeded Celtics. Smart, Devin Vassell, Jason Tatum, Miles Bridges, Rob Williams. Yeah, they've been in the finals, I think, like 3 straight years, and I think they won one of them. So no matter what, this is still a tough matchup, but yeah, we do end up winning in 5. Moving on to the Charlotte Hornets here. LaMelo Ball, Rajon Rupert, TJ Warren, Victor Wembanyama. Holy shit, you have Rudy Gobert. How much are you paying, Rudy? Just curious. Between that contract and everything that Minnesota gave up for him, man, they are putting themselves in a tough spot for the future. I'm just saying because I saw Rudy, nothing to do with Charlotte. Cleveland here in the Eastern Conference Finals. We know. Oh wait, Celtics didn't go to 3 straight because the Cavs won one year 1. But yeah, they don't have Donovan Mitchell anymore, but they still have Darius Garland, who's won an MVP and a Finals MVP. So they're a good team no matter what, no matter which way things shake out. We are up 2-1 against them right now. We make it 3-1. Don't blow a 3-1 lead. Thank you. Into the NBA Finals, Nick Smith Jr.'s Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Nikola Jokic, Western Conference Finals MVP, is in 7 games. Man averaged a triple-double. Let's take a look at the rest of the Nuggets. They have Jamal Murray, Simon Wilkins, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, Kevon Looney. Not a ton of changes to that starting lineup, especially. I'd say they have the best player in the series, but I think we have the better team. We're 2-2 with them right now. We go down 3-2. Not exactly ideal here, man. We're on the road here in Game 6 on a closeout game for Denver, which makes me a little bit nervous. It's not looking great. Not looking great. Goddamn. Goddamn. Well, I'm pretty sure most Pacers fans would sell their soul for their team to look like this right now, but at the end of the day, we didn't get it done. So I guess it's not quite a successful rebuild. But I still had a ton of fun with this one. I think we built this team up really, really well. And I had a good time doing it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. As always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I always love seeing all your guys' ideas. Happy Tuesday, if there's such thing as Happy Tuesday. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.